Carter is a defensive tackle, and while the Lions could certainly use help on the defensive line, it's not their biggest need. Meanwhile, Richardson is a quarterback, and the Lions have already made a... Sam, what are you doing here?
Well, hold on there, Ben. You're wrong about Jalen Carter, and I'm here to set you straight. I heard you think you're the next Mel Kiper, but let me tell you something, you're nothing more than a Spike Kiper.
Okay, fine. Let me hear your point on Jalen Nick Fairley Carter.
Now let me tell you, partner, Jalen Carter is a special kind of player. He's got size, strength, speed, and agility, all the makings of a dominant force on the field. Very similar to you. Now, I know there are concerns about his off-the-field issues, but let me tell you, those can be fixed. And with the right coach and organization, I believe Jalen Carter can become one of the best players in the league. I'm not fronting here, fellas. These beans don't lie. Beans and cornbread had a fight. Beans knocked cornbread out of sight. Facts. Them are straight facts, partner. These hips don't lie. First off, let's talk about Dan Campbell. This guy is a former player himself, so he knows what it takes to succeed in the NFL. He's tough, he's passionate, and he knows how to motivate his players. And most importantly, he's got a track record of developing young talent. Look at what he did with Kirby Joseph and James Houston just this last season. Maximizing untapped potential is this guy's specialty. MCDC and Brad Holmes are the most lethal tandem of selecting young talent and developing young talent. Disney looks on in awe. Now let's talk about Jalen Carter's off-the-field issues. Yes, there have been some concerns about his maturity and work ethic, but I truly believe that those are things that can be corrected. And with Dan Campbell as his coach, I have no doubt that Jalen Carter can become a responsible and dedicated player. UGA players account way more for my view of Jalen Carter than some dildo Todd McShay or a munch like Mel Kiper. But let's not forget about his on-field abilities. This guy is a game changer. He's got the ability to disrupt plays in the backfield and create havoc for opposing offenses. He's got great footwork, quick hands, and a relentless motor. And he's only going to get better with time. Can you imagine the coupling of his talents alongside the relentless motor of Aiden Hutchinson? My God, boys, just the thought of it made me go from 6 to midnight. Now, when it comes to his lackluster performance at his pro day, well, now let me tell you something, partner. Jalen Carter's going through a tough time right now. He's dealing with a lot of stress, and it's understandable that he might not have performed his best at his pro day. But let me tell you something. That one bad day does not define him as a player. We've all been or will be young. Things can be daunting at times. You see, Jalen Carter has been dealing with a lot lately. He's had to overcome personal challenges, and that can take a toll on anyone. But I believe that with the right support and guidance, Jalen Carter can get back on track and become the player we all know he can be. If Brad Holmes believes in Jalen Carter, then I believe in Jalen Carter. In Holmes we trust. Now, some people might say that his bad pro day is a sign that he's not cut out for the NFL. But let me tell you, that's just a one-off. Jalen Carter has been dominant on the field throughout his college career. He's got the size, strength, and speed to be a game changer in the NFL. And with the right coaching, he can become an even better player. So let's not give up on Jalen Carter just yet. Let's give him the support he needs to overcome his challenges and become the player we all know he can be. And let's not forget, sometimes a bad pro day can be a blessing in disguise. It can motivate a player to work even harder and prove his doubters wrong. So let's give Jalen Carter that chance to show us what he's made of. It'll be a lot less painful for him to flop than to watch him become a monster for another franchise. God help us if it's the Bears. I'll shit a goddamn brick if that happens. Now, some people might argue that there are other players who are more deserving of the Lions' 6th overall pick. But let me tell you, Jalen Carter is worth every penny. He's a once-in-a-generation kind of talent, and he could be the missing piece that the Lions need to finish turning their franchise around. In the end, it all comes down to trust. Trust in Dan Campbell to develop Jalen Carter into the player he's capable of being. Trust in Jalen Carter to learn from his mistakes and become a responsible member of the team. And trust in the Lions organization to make the right decision and take a chance on a player who has the potential to be one of the best in the league.
Well, I'll have to trust you on that, just like I trust the folks over at Birch Gold. I've known these folks for a long time, guys. Go to birchgold.com or...
Seriously? This again? Stop doing ad reads on Hat and Beard's channel. Subscribe to Hat and Beard.
Time to 23 Skidoo. Or should I say, 69 Skidoo.
She said that my pornos were boring.